everybody, real quickly before the video starts, I just wanted to remind you guys that our Christmas giveaway is still going on as we speak. We have 8 more days before I announce the winner of the giveaway of our second annual giveaway of Rogue Energy. You get a free tub and shaker. And I just want to disclaim, if you are not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because the next giveaway question is not in this video, but is in my community tab, and it will tie into this video. So make sure to watch the end to find out how to enter to win yourself a free tub and shaker provided by RogueEnergy.com. Alrighty, fanboys and fangirls, on today's episode of Technoid, we're gonna spend the entire episode talking about the OnePlus 10 Pro. Rumors and mock-ups are already starting to come out as we speak, but nobody's talking about it. This is the first time that I know of that almost little to no YouTubers are talking about the new OnePlus 10 Pro. We're going to take a look at the rumors and the reports, and we're going to try to figure out why is nobody talking about this device. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. Alrighty, real quickly before I talk about the OnePlus 10 Pro, I just want to disclaim, my little doggy Mila will be in the video from time to time. She likes me to pick her up here and there. She wants me to keep her company. Jack Russells are so lovable. But anyway, guys, story number 1, the main story, the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now, the OnePlus 10 Pro, I talked a little bit about it the other day, but there was a little bit more to the story than I had originally talked about. And now that we've got a full spec leak along with renders and some possible new features coming, I figured why not take a full episode to break it all down and really figure out why nobody's talking about the 10 Pro. Well, taking a look at the reports, we can see here that the OnePlus 10 Pro is scheduled to be released around January or February, mostly Q1 of 2022. We can see that the OnePlus 10 series is aiming to really get back a lot of the momentum that OnePlus had several years back. Now, I had made this point, and that actually ties into my giveaway, which we'll discuss at the end. OnePlus really had a lot of momentum on their shoulders, but once they left the Chinese market and came to America, well, they didn't leave, but once they moved into the American market, they made a big fuss about how they were going to take over, they were going to innovate, they were going to stick it to the big guys. And they were doing that. The OnePlus 6T was well received. The OnePlus 7 Pro was probably the peak that OnePlus was at. And then after that, the hype kind of just died. And then the 8 came, now the 9, and you know, I can understand now kind of why nobody wants to talk about it. But taking a look at the reports, the OnePlus 10 and 10 Pro are rumored to have similar specs to the 9, but with few enhancements that will make this device really stand out on its own 2 feet. According to the reports, the OnePlus 10 Pro is rumored to have, first off, this is probably big overkill, but 80 watts of fast charging, literally 80 watts. Now, we've already heard about this technology happening in the third world countries, everywhere else also, but to me, I don't really think that's a big deal. Now, let me just disclaim real quickly, I'm not saying that's a bad feature. I think that the faster the phone can charge, the easier you can just take your phone and go. But if I knew my phone was charging 80 watts, obviously not the whole time, but the fact that it could peak at 80 watts, I'm watching that device like a hawk so it doesn't overheat. But of course, we do know that OnePlus's secret is that all the heat is condensed in the brick and not the phone itself. So there is still some hope on that end. But 80 watts is pretty impressive. On top of that, we also have a few camera specs that we're going to take a look at in just a second. Taking a look first and foremost, based on the spec sheets, we are rumored to see again, of course, the 6.7-inch display for the Pro. We will also see a 120 Hz AMOLED display, which appears to have the same 32 megapixel front-facing camera. And around the back, we are rumored to get a 48 megapixel, 50 megapixel, and 8 megapixel rear camera setup with the telephoto lens offering 3 times optical zoom. However, though, we don't know if their partnership with Hasselblad is still going to be in effect. According to some reports, there are some talks that Hasselblad is reportedly pulling their partnership with the next series, as the sales for the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro were not off to a great start. Now again, that's just a rumor and that's just a report. I don't know if that's actually true. I personally don't want that to be true because I feel like a company like Hasselblad partnering with OnePlus could be a very big deal for them, and it would definitely benefit the phone in the long term with camera technology, and the more they collaborate in their partnership, the more they can advance their camera system as they go. So I wouldn't really be against that. Taking a look closer, the OnePlus 10 is rumored to be a 6.5-inch display, so just a little bit smaller, but again, these reports are still in their early stages, so things are going to tweak as we move forward. So again, take some of this with a grain of salt. And lastly, the final story that basically ties into all this is, of course, Android 12. Now, I just want to point out that every single time an Android phone is made, they always put at the title, "will launch with Android 12." Don't you think they probably would at this point? If that were the case with every iPhone, we would say, oh, the iPhone's going to ship with iOS 15.1 or iPhone 15.2. Notice they don't do that for iPhones, but only Androids. I'm just saying, double standard here, people. And that's the OnePlus 10 and 10 Pro. Those are the base specs that we know of. Of course, we are going to get more information as we go along. But I have to ask the question, why did nobody talk about this, and why is nobody even really mentioning it? And I think I kind of know the answer why. Now listen, I just want to start off by saying that I do think OnePlus needs to get back in the game. They have not had a big release since the 7 Pro. The OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 9, they were good phones. They did a great job, and I honestly thought that they were basically good. But the whole turning point for OnePlus, what really started the die of their hype, was when they decided to go full flagship mode. Because if you guys remember, OnePlus was known as the flagship killer. They were known as the flagship killer because they were able to get hardware specs based on flagship specs and price it under over $200, $300 what the competitors were doing. And it worked. But the more I look back at OnePlus from what it was to what it's trying to be, and to what everybody has made OnePlus sound like, they were never a flagship maker. They were never a flagship maker. They were just a premium mid-range. They were as premium as you could get, and the proof of that is the Samsung Fan Edition phones. Look at the Fan Edition phones and then a OnePlus phone. They're virtually identical in terms of the specs. Differences, of course, later go down the road. But do you see what I mean? History has now proven that OnePlus is not what we made it to be. And I think that people have finally caught on with the releases of the Google Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, with the release of the iPhone 13, with Samsung continuing their push with the S series and the foldables. With so many different markets coming in, it begs the question, how much longer does OnePlus have? Because then we heard reports of them being merged in with Oppo, as we know they work under the same umbrella. There really is a reason why people are not talking about them, and now I understand why. Because there's nothing to be hyped about. Now, of course, there are the OnePlus fans. Oh, you want to go down? Okay, well, I don't know what she wants. There are the dedicated OnePlus fans. They are going to have their fans, and if you are a fan of OnePlus, I'm not saying this stuff to discredit you, but we have to call a spade, in the words of Steve Mobile Tech. It's time to cut the crap. OnePlus has not had any momentum since the OnePlus 7 Pro. Very few carriers are carrying their phones. Only T-Mobile and Metro are the only two that have carried the OnePlus series throughout its entire release. Verizon, very picky. AT&T, I still yet to figure out if they even know what OnePlus is. So the bottom line that I'm trying to make with you guys is not that because OnePlus isn't relevant, it's just that nobody cares. And I think it's obvious because their sales are just bad. Now, if you're gonna come and hit me in the comment section and say that, oh, you're wrong, they're very popular here where I live, here's the difference. Go on globalmarketshare.com, look up the biggest manufacturers in Europe, Asia, United States, and tell me if you find OnePlus. If you can do that for me, I will happily give you a free tub of Rogue Energy. Nah, I'm just playing. But listen, guys, bottom line, I really do hope that OnePlus gets their momentum back. I really do hope that they can get something going because they need to pick up the pace again and they gotta get something going because if they make this phone and do what they keep doing with every phone, give it to YouTubers to review, not spend money on advertising, not using carriers, if they just continue to do the same thing that they've been doing with the last few models, OnePlus is going to leave the American market and they may not even make it out because their sales are abysmal here in the United States. So OnePlus, I wish you luck. I will be covering your device, but you have got some major room to fill. And if you disagree with me, I could care less. And that's for today's episode of TechNoid. Now guys, again, before we end the video, giveaway, if you guys are subscribed with notifications on, I posted a poll giving a question, can OnePlus regain their momentum? All you guys have to do if you want to win a part of the giveaway, find that poll in the community tab, write your comments down there, and I will pick one of you guys from a draw to win a free tub of Rogue Energy. Make sure to comment right away, guys, because we only have 8 days left for the giveaway. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. Helps with my vids as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, and peace!